Alright, Dink's finally done. That's nice. Another day, another dinker, as they say. But now here's the thinker. Which stinker should I pursue next? The word next is quite like Nox, which I hear isn't Cox, but it doesn't feel quite right. Got more fate to do. That'll have to come later. Gonna drop a fucking anvil on my head, I swear. I can't stand another unintentional rhyme. I mean, they have to stop sometime. I guess I just missed the good old days where I sat around and talked about the number 3 and stuff. Maybe it's time for the Clay Fighter series. That's with 2 E's, of course. Me clever, me talk. Wait a second. What ARPG is alternate reality? I don't remember putting this one here. Let's see. This might be fun. Alright, so now that the Link to the Past is done and reviewed, it's just another link in my chain, some would say, and I'm excited because now we've been together through 24 games as we attempt to find the best Zelda game ever made, and we're finally onto the 3 CDI games. And yeah, I know there's been some pushback in the comments section because of Zelda 2 being excluded on the grounds that it's not a real Zelda game, but as I keep saying, refer to this action role-playing game notification and be gone. And since it isn't being counted, we'll probably actually never cover the game on this channel now that I think about it, since finding the best ARPG ever made would be such a stupid journey considering all the phone games you'd have to play, the knockoffs, and that Diablo 2 is almost definitely probably the best one. And if you didn't think that, you'd be a really stupid dickhead and you'd have to defend any position like that in a 3+ hour video scheduled to release probably in like a year or two, and it would have to be an almighty epic video, definitely the best one you'd ever do to that point. But anyway, that's not our concern. We should move on to the game of the hour. Link the Faces of Evil, 5 words that'll put the please in please go away and never come back. There's a lot of little facts that might irk you about the Faces of Evil. Firstly, they've got 2 different animators named Scrodennis who wanted to work on the game. I mean, that's actually insane. Secondly, it's awful. Literally one of the worst things I've ever had to do. This is a formality video. This is not the best Zelda game ever made, but we have aspired to play the entire catalog except Zelda 2. And here I am with my video for you all to enjoy. As always, as we are a daily uploading channel. I should really get into things, but I don't want to. But I guess we should start where we always start. Section 1, the music and graphics and backgrounds and artistic qualities all at once, or as I like to call it, Magagabako time, you fuckers. Alright, in your mind, if I asked you what are some good animation studios, you might say Disney. Sorry, more like disgusting. You might say Studio Ghibli, and I'd retort, Studio, give me something better. And finally, perhaps Warner Brothers, and I'd say, oh brother, warn me if you're going to show me something like that. No, I want you to suggest Magic Animation. Getting harder by the second. Yeah, if you've been on the internet for the past 15 years, chances are you've seen a whole lot of memes surrounding the cutscenes in these here CDI Zelda games, and for good reason. They're really unintentionally fun, considering that they're some of the worst things I've ever watched. And in comparison to the game, they kick ass, but we'll get there in a bit, you know, with sections 4, 6, and 7. In terms of the graphics, they're comical, being a blend of nasty saturated colors bouncing around, being constantly out of proportion. There's a strangeness to everything, and it's not improved by the admittedly very memorable and actually pretty decent OST. I hate myself for saying that, but truly the music is not bad. The backgrounds are, in my opinion, annoying after a while since you're just jumping around on Bob Ross paintings the entire game. Again, they hired like a bunch of people, more people than I have, so the quality being this bad is odd. Plus, Mr. Miyamoto being there, I like to picture weeping silently as they ass destroy his creation in front of him. Alright, section 2, game length. I beat the game in like 4 hours. They were miserable hours. I would have rather spent playing something like, I don't know, the Ocarina of Time? This bar is actually making me nervous now. I think next week we're gonna fill it. The game is torture akin to anviling my balls, and I want you to know that I sat here and beat the whole game in one shot, and it was so unreasonably unfun. But besides that, section 3, how hard was the emulation process, Seer? Hey, thanks for asking. I appreciate that. That's nice of you. It was tremendously annoying. I had to find the BIOSes from the internet, and you know how scary that place is, and then I had to buy a Philips CDI when I didn't find the BIOSes, and you know how scary spending money is. In the end, my brain is pained and my ass is chafed, but I'm chuffed because it's section 4 gameplay part 1 time. Between jumping on, I clicked my fucking teeth. Ugh! Between jumping on weird geometry, of which the hitboxes are stunningly bad, the enemies having 0 delay or even sometimes having no animation on their attacks, and finally the controls being built for a spoon controller, and let me tell you, I'd have more responsive controls out of a literal soup spoon because this is very ungood. If you want to stand, you have to hit up. Up is simultaneously jump. Crouch is down. Crouch gets locked when you hit down. I mean, these controls literally hate each other. The directions feel like they're having a constant war, and it doesn't help that attacking disrupts the game's 2 kilobytes of brain power, making every action you do cease instantly. Truly, the game is stiffer than the most explicit metaphor you can imagine. Hello, YouTube, nothing to see here. Alright, traditional section 5, thoughts about dicks and balls, maybe if you have time, and of course we have time this week. You know, it's the fucking Faces of Evil. As always, I'll start with the dick discussion. I'm not a large fan, get it? But balls is great as always. I'm so glad we added that section in for the 100,000 subscriber special. But we're dallying back to the game with section 6 gameplay part 2. There are some interesting differences in this game versus all the good ones, and that it's very much a level-oriented experience. Most Zelda games give you a world, which is probably a better way to do things than whatever this is, but here you get a system of 3 lives per level with a boss or something at the end, and while I'm giving points for novelty, I'm giving minus points for being supremely unfun garbage. I was getting irate. I didn't record my voice live, but if I did, you'd be getting an earful and a half of Madman, I do tell you. Every 3 deaths, you just had to repeat boring encounters against flying enemies that were awful since they don't despawn. The screen is just a mess of things you don't want to kill all the time. And don't get me started on little weirdisms that this game has, like if you swing your sword, it will only hit one thing, despite if 60 entities are stacked up on top of each other. And since you pick up items with your sword swings, shit will literally just get in your way, meaning in big fights you're like the average wheat field, you're just getting plowed. Secondly, since the CDI was such a cutting-edge console, there's only 2 fucking buttons to work with, meaning inventory is down and B, while using special items is standing plus B, and entering doors is B, which all results in you never being able to do anything. If you're in front of doors, you can't use items or open the menu. If you're not quite on the door, you're going to waste your B button presses, and if you want to crouch and shoot bombs, go suck ass, the menu is coming up. Finally, seeing as your max health is 6 hearts, and every boss likes to do around 2 hearts per hit, you're basically made of toilet paper, wet ground toilet paper, not Charmin or anything charming like that. Totally useless, breaks in one hit kind of paper. Alright, it's section 7 time. Thoughts on bosses, and is the game actually fun? Okay, well, let's see. They're shit and awful and no. Alright, I think that's the review. I think that sums it up. Honestly, Link at the Faces of Evil might be the best Zelda ever made because it makes you want to literally do anything else. It doesn't matter what it is. It'll make you actually get around to doing your taxes because anything sounds more appetizing than playing this game. Which means that when you play this Zelda, you're becoming a better person. I mean, how many games can boast that shit? So you know what? I'll enter into the fray for the best Zelda game ever made. Why not? I'll do a speedrun playthrough, a full blindfold run, and we'll see if it's better on replay. It's joining Skyward Sword, Phantom Hourglass, The Four Swords Adventure, Breath of the Wild Wii U Edition, Twilight Princess, the GameCube Edition, the Minish Cap, and Spirit Tracks in the running for the best Zelda ever made. If you enjoyed, fucking smash that like button. Fucking smash it now. Alright, well, you know, I feel better about my life now. While that video was asshole, you know, maybe it would be fun to play every Zelda game ever made. Maybe I should start doing that as well. I can handle 2 series.
My boy, Seer, after you've improved all of ARPGs, then we can talk about Zelda. Take him away.